You all right, boys?
Yep, we're alright, thanks.
Damien, a new adventure for the club this weekend, going up to Cairns. How are the boys feeling about it?
Yeah, listen, it's a change of scenery and a change of temperature. I think it's 26 up there today. So look, it'd be good to get out of the Melbourne cold for a couple of days. And look, we're looking forward to an exciting challenge. You know, they're a young football club, but they're certainly exciting to watch. They're a side I enjoy to watch also, to see how the young talent of this country's going. So it's still an enormous challenge for us.
Have the boys prepared, or the team as a whole, prepared differently for Cairns as you did for Darwin a few weeks ago?
Look, probably similar lines. The things we probably learned from Darwin was just the conditions. The humidity was the thing that we didn't handle overly well. Our use of the ball. So we've put a few things in place this week to rectify that. You know, we're going up a day earlier to hopefully help with our preparation to train on the. Give us a better training facility there on the ground, and we've learned a few things from our lessons last time.
You've got the sun as a factor this time. Have you taken that into account?
The sun?
The sun?
Yeah, look.
Oh,
look, it's hotter. There's no doubt about that. But there's not much we can do about that. We just pick the fittest team we can and hope to run out the game at full strength.
So you're heading up this afternoon, are you? Or
yeah, we're heading up after training today.
Was there any consideration at all to go yesterday, or was Thursday always the?
No, we only go 2 days earlier. How early do you want us to go? We can go up there all week. But look, we'll have a couple of training session up there, so that'll do the job for us.
Damien, you said last week there's a lesson to be learned from every game of AFL you play. What was the main lesson to come out of the game against the Bombers on the weekend? Yeah,
look, probably the main thing is we just couldn't get our hands on the ball in that last quarter. I think at one stage the possession count was 32-2. And then the game was done and dusted from there on in. I think they kicked 9 out of the last 10 goals or something similar to that. So we just had to, to make sure we get our hands on the ball and drive the ball forward. You know, one of the key indicators of the games at the moment is time in the forward half. The funny thing about it, in that last quarter, we actually won that key indicator stat, but a number of their goals came over the back because our poor defensive setup. So, look, we learned a few things out of the weekend's game, which, look, as much as you can, you try and learn something from the bad results that you have.
And I guess a real positive to come out of the game was the Rising Star nomination for Jake Batchelor. Him and Conquer, 2 nominations this year is a good sign for the club moving forward.
Yeah, it is. Look, and you look at the development. Brad Hardwick, I thought, had his best game for the club, and Ben Griffiths was another positive. Took 4 contested marks and had 2 shots on goal. So, look, we are young and developing, and we've got some exciting players that we still think have to unearth. We've got players that are injured at the moment, and Dylan Grimes, David Asprey, these type of players that we think can come back and be solid contributors to our footy club.
Must be a bit frustrating though. Won another first quarter, your second one for the year, but then the second half wasn't so good. It's still trying to find that balance, I suppose.
Yeah, it is, but that's the inconsistency of our footy club at the moment, and that's the thing we're trying to rectify. Young sides are up and down. Gold Coast no different, and we're trying to. The sooner we rectify that, the better we become, obviously. And for a young side that is still learning how to play consistent footy, that's it in a nutshell. We get that 4-quarter effort, we get the result we're after.
Have you got the scope or the need to make a statement at selection?
This week, the guys we're generally going to put out there, there'll be a couple of changes, but there won't be drastic changes from that point of view. You've got to remember we played 2.5 to 3 quarters of reasonable football. We had a really disappointing last quarter. We acknowledge that. We dealt with it. We've looked at a few things that went wrong in that area. But for the selection dilemmas, you don't want to be making wholesale changes this time of year.
Do you expect Gary Ablett to play this weekend?
Yeah, we think so. Look, obviously he trained yesterday. He's an important player to their side. He's a bloody good player too. I wish he wasn't playing, but look, he's a guy that we'll put measures in place to make sure he doesn't have the influence that he normally does.
What do you made of Jack Rewart's form the last month or so?
Well, he's running second in the Coleman. I think people are the easiest person on the ground to criticise is a full forward. They're basically they're probably very reliant on what happens up the field with the ball delivery. The only thing I can suggest with Jack is the area of his game that he can improve is defensive efforts, and we've had conversations about that. Offensively, not really worried about the goals, they'll come. Surprisingly defensively, if you get your stuff done, offensively your game will come from there.
Is he playing injured at all? There's speculation, but it's always
listen, the majority of players in the AFL at the moment are either fatigued or injured, so he's no different.
There was a lot of talk about free kicks with Jack last week. How do you think that played out against the Bombers?
Oh, listen, that was a conversation that we had a lot earlier in the year. I think probably the one at the moment that's creeping in is you look at the free kicks for and against, and the guys are at the top of the ruckman with the free kicks for, and the rucks are free kicks against. They're the ones that probably we're having a little bit of trouble with at this stage, and there's probably the one area of the game I just wish they'd let the 2 big dinosaurs just have a crack at it and not play a free kick. I'd love to see the stage where both ruckmen have both got their hands up on the mark thinking that they're both giving away a free kick, but that's probably the one that's a little bit confusing for us at this stage.
Just on the draw, you've played Cullinan and Brisbane now twice. You're yet to play Geelong, West Coast, Adelaide, and of course the Gold Coast this weekend. Is it club disadvantage in any way having not played those four sides, or do you look to change anything next year?
No, I think it's a fixture, to be perfectly honest, and it's done with commercially viable options in mind. And look, we just get the job done. We play who we play. End of the day, we should be more wins than what we are at the moment. We're disappointed in that, but we just play who our opponent is drawn to play.
What about playing the home game up there in Cairns as well? Yeah, it's another one for the season. What's the thoughts on? Obviously, if it was played in Melbourne, it's just about bank the 4 points against the Gold Coast.
Oh, listen, end of the day, you play every opponent on their merits, and this one is no different. Good sides has to travel. You know, if you want to play in finals, you want to play in premierships, you've got to travel at some stage. That's the nature of our national competition. So, although this game is in Cairns, it's no different. It's a really good learning experience for our guys because at some stage we're going to have to play a final in a state.
You're hoping the people of Cairns really get behind you guys?
Yeah, I think so. We've got a great supporters group up there, so we're looking forward to a good turnout, and we think it'll be a good game. I think it'll be a really good challenge for both clubs.
Just clarifying on selection, will those lineup changes sort of be based on matchups and structural, or are you looking for fresh legs?
Oh, look, probably a bit of both. They probably didn't give you any of the answer, did they? Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Cheers.
mate.